Tonya Mathews, her and I go back a long ways. She hosted one of my events a few years back, and now she's at Wayne State University doing the thing she loves, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And that's because you're now at the new Wayne State STEM Innovation Center, right?
Yes, how are you, Mike? Yes, the STEM Innovation Learning Center. That's one of the newest additions to the Wayne State University campus and offerings.
Let's talk a little bit. I think it's only 6 months old. Is that right?
The building itself, no, the building is, I don't know, approximately 4 days old. we
Okay. All right.
and counting. We actually had a virtual ribbon cutting on October the 1st, which was sort of the celebration of the major completion. And anyone who ever has done a major project realize the punch list goes on for quite a bit.
Yeah.
But we have been working on it since in construction for 10 months, which was a radically quick construction schedule when you just look at all we've been able to accomplish.
And you came on board, I think maybe that's my confusion. You came on board about 6 months ago, I believe.
So I came on board about a year and 6 months ago.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
I'm way off, way off. I'm sorry about that. I'll have to
No,
fire
no
my
problem.
producer, so
Not a problem. I think maybe it's that this is a project that was 6 years in the making. It is a reclaiming of the science and engineering library for our warrior alumni who are out there. And we transformed that facility with a major renovation into a 21st, dare I say 22nd century STEM learning facility. So we've got mixed labs, mixed classrooms, everything is mobile and dynamic for a collision of majors, students and faculty. So we're very excited.
all right. So how big is it? I know it's a new facility. How many square feet are we talking?
Well, I will say this. It is 100,000 square feet, which is a lot less space than you think it is when we're
Yeah.
trying to fit that in. So all along the Warren Street side, we've got labs on 6 different floors. And then on the Gullen Mall University campus facing side, we've got dynamic classroom spaces. One cool thing about the structure is we've got what is called virtual desktop infrastructure, part of Wayne State's burgeoning learn anywhere philosophy, which means that students can bring in any device, laptop, tablet, et cetera, and the building can actually push the technology, the software to the student on their devices, allowing us to have computer labs and lecture rooms is actually the same room in addition to the biochemistry, chemistry, biology, physics, and engineering lab spaces that we have in the facility.
So this is open to any Wayne State students, I assume, or I imagine a lot of them want to take some kind of STEM class, right?
Absolutely. So, of course, it's open to all of our undergraduates, and we're welcoming our graduate students in as well. A lot of our, say, Wayne Experience courses or our general education courses allow for all students to take, say, a physics class. Hey, some philosophy majors want to take some physics. It's related to the way our brains conceive the world. And that's also what we're hoping for, right? We built the space to be so dynamic and usable and multifaceted that we're hoping students across all disciplines feel welcome in the space. But we also did specifically design for the way that STEM students learn. We tend to learn in groups, right? Groups that talk loudly, groups that need whiteboards, groups that need computer screens for themselves. And so what's unique about the facility is it's designed also with that in mind. As opposed to quiet individual study, we've got several collaboration zones and the STEM commons that really reflect the way that students in those
Chemistry, physics, and calculus. And then my sophomore year, I became a liberal arts student. So I have a lot of respect for people. I mean, the physics course alone was like, wow. So, but organic chemistry, I took a year of that. Whew. But I mean, it was a good grounding for what I'm doing now. I mean, it gives me a basic flavor. And of course, since then, written so many stories, I've done so many interviews, I feel like I've got a master's degree now in STEM just because I've talked to everybody about it, various experts, so like yourself. So what are the kind of the plans going forward now? You've got
Mhm.
this great facility, you're opening it up to other students. What's next?
Yeah, so of course, the immediate plans are safety and science first, right? So we're all still in the throes of thinking through what the current pandemic and sort of those kinds of things mean for us. But moving beyond that, we are thinking about what kind of classes will work best in the building, as well as what kind of classes will contribute to the culture that we want in the building. And so our STEM courses are looking at the courses that attract students from multiple disciplines. We're also actually trying to lean in a little bit into your world. We want to be able to have science and society conversations. We even want to consider the ways that STEM can be used to tackle social justice, in addition to thinking about our own strategies around inclusion. But the building also has some incredible presentation spaces. So we're hoping that faculty and students will think about the STEM Innovation Learning Center, how to do a mini symposium, or perhaps displaying some of the research or the projects that we've done, just as part of the quote unquote decoration of the space. And I'm happy to report we are currently working with the chief curator for Wayne State's art collection to actually curate art inside the building so we can really get authentic in this conversation around STEAM. So for us, that's going to mean arts and culture, but it's also going to mean humanity as we think about the way that science impacts our world and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of these stories on the enormous amount of openings there are for people that are trained in, of course, now you added A for arts, so it's STEAM rather than STEM, but science, technology, engineering, arts tends to be architecture and things like that.
Mm-hmm,
It
mm-hmm.
could be humanities, and of course, math. And I've seen different statistics. I'm not sure how many there are in the States, but I think there's tens of thousands of openings right now. So hopefully, this innovation center at Wayne State is going to help fill some of those slots, I think, right?
Absolutely. That's definitely what we're going for, not only to increase the number of students who are interested in STEM related fields, but also to increase the number of students who understand that they are capable of STEM enabled businesses, and that kind of thing. One of the things that the STEM Innovation Learning Center is also committed to is becoming another hub for K-12 on Wayne State's campus. So we will, of course, be reaching back and making space and room for our various summer camps and places to collaborate, as well as, places for young people to also display the kinds of things that they are interested in. And frankly, one of our biggest assets for those who may sort of troll the website is it's a really cool looking building, right? So I can imagine that we may be able to attract some students just because we've got really cool space, and cool space implies cool classes. So at least to give everyone some kind of fundamental kind of grounding in some STEM or some science or tech, much to the way you described how your freshman year turned out to be valuable after all.
Yeah, well, a great point. It wasn't so great after my freshman year, but I made up for it with a lot of work in the next few years to come. But
Mhm.
certainly, I think because even, well, when I was a student, we were writing dinosaurs, right? But I mean, nowadays, I can't imagine anybody in the workforce not having some kind of STEM kind of training background, understanding. Excuse me. Uh, I mean, it's just vital right now, I think. Do you? I'm sure you agree, right?
I definitely agree. And I think we're getting better at that language, right? So there's classic STEM, classic STEAM, that kind of business. And then there are those who simply know how to use the STEM, and really we're referring to technology and engineering tools that they need to get their job done. And then there are those who know enough to know what tools to ask for and to use, right? So you don't necessarily have to be an app developer to understand that your customer would want to be able to engage with you via an app. So just enough to know about sort of the strengths and the possibilities. But hey, this is Detroit. This is Michigan. You know, we build stuff, right? I think that we are a state that is designed for this, and we like to be creators and we like to be builders. That's just part of our culture. And I think now we are creating and building with the tools of STEM. And so I think really getting folks to understand that this is not the realm of genius. This is the world of determination. And I hope that the STEM Innovation Learning Center can really help people engage with that idea.
Now, I know previously you worked with the STEManista program at the Michigan Science Center. Are you hoping to do something similar in this program?
Well, I'm definitely hoping that the STEM Innovation Learning Center becomes known for welcoming and bringing in the unusual suspects. That's going to, of course, include girls. That's also going to include African Americans, Black and Brown people from all kinds of demographics, as well as our first generation students, first generation in college, and dare I say, first generation STEM. I myself am technically a second generation college student, but I'm first generation STEM. When I started out in engineering, the rest of my family kind of gave me a good luck nod as sort of they were at the end of where they could support. But I think that is really important, and it's part of the way I want to continue to engage with partners. You know, Wayne State has a growing community of partners that we use, from Detroit Public Schools to still the Michigan Science Center, actually to Tech Town, one of our own facilities, and different folks in the community who are working with you know, folks from these underrepresented communities. We like to refer to them as, and you can see a bit of that if you watched our virtual ribbon cutting. So I'm very excited to think about what those kind of programs look like at this level right now.
Okay, you know, you've been on my show before. We're now at that
Yes.
shameless plug point where you've got about a minute here to plug what you're doing and provide information about how people can reach out to you. So take it away.
Absolutely. So the website is up, stem-innovation.wayne.edu. It's where you can keep up with us and see things that are going. We've got some cool projects coming with co-partner Detroit Public School Community District and launching some K-12. We will also be piloting a National Science Foundation grant that is particularly for women, STEM entrepreneurs and small business owners. To your question, thanks for that lead in, Mike. And of course, just kind of stay tuned in terms of thinking about how to virtually engage with the building and the programs. We are also going to be the Detroit hub for the 2021 Invention Convention. Yes.
Additional four-year students love Lawrence Technological University's thriving campus life, but LTU has always met non-traditional students' needs too. Lawrence Tech offers over 100 degree and certificate programs that can get adult students started or back on track. And most of our classes are conveniently offered evenings at our beautiful Southfield campus or online, so you can balance your social, family, and work life even while you power up your career. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.